Welcome back after the tea break. I hope you had a wonderful tea break. The next speaker of the day is from IBM. He'll speak on the topic titled Addressing Cloud Security, the Grand Challenge. The speaker is Mr. Sreekanth Iyer, Senior IT Architect, IBM Security Solutions. Mr. Sreekanth, please welcome you.
Thanks, Ashwin. Good afternoon. So, I'm going to be speaking on this grand challenge, which is cloud security, which is one of the top. Anytime you speak about cloud or cloud adoption, we hear security as the grand challenge. But the bigger challenge that I have is I need to cover this topic in 30 minutes. So, let me go forward with the agenda. So, I work as a senior IT architect with the IBM Security Systems team, primarily part of the CTO organization focusing on cloud security. So, as part of today's session, the things that I wanted to discuss was basically give you a insight into what are the risks and challenges when we talk about security in connection to cloud. What is IBM's point of view in terms of how we can go about addressing these challenges and risks, and hope to leave you with a set of mitigation strategies and technologies and tools that you can look at to address your security requirements in your space. I think there was some question in the in one of the previous sessions. What is the one important thing that people are going for cloud? And of course the cost benefit, pay as you go model. So all of that comes up on the top, the return on investment on a cloud. So that is one reason we are seeing a lot of people adopting cloud. But when we talk about the inhibitors, security comes on the top. Security is a concern. Or you look at any analyst surveys, any customer surveys, a large set of them we have done with multiple of our customers. Security ranks the topmost concern. Again, it could be a perception, so we'll look at other trends that are also happening. Then we also discussed about the adoption patterns. Customers are not moving to, switching off their traditional IT and moving on to cloud. They are looking at a staged approach, or some are looking at different patterns of adoption, whether it is, cloud enabling their data centers or taking some services from the cloud. There is a set of patterns that we have identified, which are becoming more and more clear as when we are doing 3,000, 4,000 plus cloud engagements. We are able to see these adoption fitting under definite patterns. So these are the three things that I would want you to keep in the back of your mind when we're talking through this session. So firstly, let's start with what is different, or what is different about cloud security. Traditionally, we are doing security. We are securing our infrastructure, our people, the application, the data. So all of this still holds good for cloud. So not sure some of those fonts are visible in the back, but I'll try and highlight or talk through some of these key points. So with cloud, the challenge is the speed at which things are happening. So initially, if I need to get a machine, I could actually request one and I will get it in 6 weeks, but when I get that machine, it is all hardened in terms of putting the OS, setting the security policies, etc., and the project can go ahead and use it. But the same facility or that infrastructure, if you are sourcing from cloud, you get that machine in 10-15 minutes or less than a minute these days with some of the latest automation and the provisioning. So the rate at which things are happening is huge. The volume is huge. The number of people accessing is huge, because anybody who has a connection to an internet or who is a user who can connect to the service on the cloud is a user for you. So there is a larger challenge of managing this data center identities as well as the consumer identities. So with cloud, the other significant thing is the multi-tenancy part. You're virtually serving probably one VM could be running a bank 1 application, and the adjacent VMs could be running a bank 2 application from a different set. So the basic architecture principle of cloud is like the economies of scale, as in, it cost me $50 for so many VMs. It shouldn't be $100 for double the VMs. It should be less than that. So cloud, if you look at this economies principle, the contradicting thing is how do I maximize the resources at the same time provide this computing or the infrastructure, the platform or the software in a secure fashion. So these are some of the challenges with cloud, and this gets even complex when there is change of controls. We did go and survey a lot of our customers when they said security is a concern for them to adopt cloud. But what came out clearly was, it was not the security or the technology part they are worried about. They were mainly worried about the visibility into their infrastructure. So actually, if you are taking a machine from a public cloud, it is, you will have to bear with whatever the service provider is giving you, the cloud service provider is giving you, whatever the security that provider has implemented in their data center, that is all you can get. And when it comes to the private cloud scenario, again, the sort of things that are looked at is, we are not talking about 10, 20, 30 or 100 machines. Once you have a full-fledged cloud in operation, minimum you have 3,000 VMs, 10,000 VMs. So basically you are left with this notion of how do I know who is using what and what workload they are running on it, which are my critical workload, which are my critical assets, how do I secure them. So there is this change of control that is driving another set of security concerns. And then there is all these hybrid models where you have some part of your application running in your traditional data center and it is connecting it to a CRM application or email applications on the public cloud. So how do you secure end to end? So these are our challenges. So to summarize the challenges, it is more about the cloud consumer, service consumer feeling that he is having less control on things. It's more about how, when there is an audit, if this enterprise is serving another customer and then that customer has certain SLA requirement, and when there is an audit, I need to show certain reports, certain compliance against how I am managing my IT and the associated risk and governance part. So when this requirement for this compliance or audit comes up, traditionally I can go get it from my own IT staff. Give me all these set of reports. I know where this application is running, which machine is running that, which network, which storage, everything. And if it is something requiring HIPAA compliance or PCI compliance, do the additional set of stuff that you have to report on. But when it comes to cloud, there is again change of controls. Partly, okay, you are buying some infrastructure from somebody. Below the hypervisor, I will give you all the reports, or above the hypervisor, you need to take care what are workload you are running on that. So this, and of course the data security part. How can I be assured that the data is secure in your cloud? Who does the backup? Who does the recovery? What happens when an event happens? Or let's say out of that 10,000 VMs, couple of your VMs got infected and there is a rootkit transmission, or there is a bad network communication happening for some of your VMs. How do you get insight into all that, isolate things, and how do you do this faster? So if you look at the categories of these risks, these are very generic, but you can very well relate to something that we have seen all these same set of risks previously also, right? Any guesses which industry or where we had seen those risks? The classic case, Mr. Natarajan was putting out, outsourcing. When we started business process outsourcing, people said, I won't have control on my business process. I don't know how is this person going to run my business for him, right? Critical business processes are now being outsourced. We are not only just doing BPO, some of these companies are doing BTO, like business transformation outsourcing. We just don't get the business process from the customer, we would actually improve it, optimize it, and give it back to the customer. So these risks, the IBM point of view is that the whole thing is about building the trust with the provider and the consumer in terms of ensuring that what is needed is put in place to secure the company's the assets and the potential assets and resources. So we saw this again similar risks in when internet came. Internet is not good for business, or it is not ready for commercial things. And IBM came up with this word e-business, and we know pretty much we do everything on internet. So it's more or less the same sort of viewpoint here. It is the question of how do you convince the end consumer that internet is secure, or your outsourcing is secure, or your cloud is secure, based on what they want to do with the cloud. And there are of course a large set of everything as a service, but what you see is that depending on what you are taking from the cloud, certain things are still behind the cloud curtain. Cloud curtain in the sense it's mostly done by the provider, whether it is user ID management, the backup, or all of that. So all our customers wanted more visibility into this. So the approach that we are taking is again, it's not a one size fits all. So we'll have to look at what is the workload that customers are wanting to put on the cloud. So if you look at the key adoption patterns, of course the infrastructure, the platform, the software, and then a combination of these, like the cloud service provider pattern, which is the the significant pattern within the telco domain. So these are the patterns, and if you look at each of these patterns, there is again different security elements which are in focus. So if you look at a data center or a company which is trying to optimize the the running of their data center, they have to mainly worry about how do I secure the infrastructure, how do I manage the identities, how do I secure the virtual endpoints. In cloud we are talking about this virtual instances. There are a lot of images, and these are one of the key criteria to key things to secure in the cloud, because if you don't have a proper governance model, all of a sudden you will be working with some 100 VM images and another 3,000 instances of these images, and you don't know who has access to what image and who controls what image, everything. So there is a need for doing management of these images and governance of these images, as well as making sure that these images are protected and connected or brought back to life at the right set of controls in those images, because one person can take a VM for 2 months, he will keep it there, right? Let's say he is running Windows 2008 or Linux or some of that in that VM. then he could bring back the same image. 2 months later he will bring it up back in the cloud. By that time there would be 15 patches already released. How do you make sure that these endpoints are clearly secured? So those are the key concerns in the infrastructure as a service part. Now if you look at platform as a service, the additional set of consideration that comes into place, how do I secure my middleware components, which is the database, the web applications, etc. And if you go to the software as a service, again all of these, plus you need to manage different identities. We are talking about federated identity management, etc., where you could be having a complete enterprise, a multi user enterprise taking a service from your cloud, and you have a way to pass those identity and credentials across to your cloud seamlessly. And as you move to the last pattern towards the right, the cloud service provider pattern, the requirements, security requirements are more around compliance, audit readiness, taking care of those multi-tenant requirements. So again, our strategy to deal with this is again not one size fits all. You can't do security thinking that this is the way that people are going to use it, and you implement certain set of network intrusion prevention systems, you put some identity management software, so that's it, I have role-based access. No, the answer is if you want to plan your security strategy, you have to do it in conjunction with your enterprise security framework. So IBM has a security framework which probably cuts across all the layers of people, data, infrastructure, and application, and also talks about, our security framework talks about taking our customers to the next level, which is about security intelligence, rather than worrying about and rather than reacting to incidents, how can you be provisioned and optimized in knowing what is happening in your environment. So the approach is do this by design, and don't take security as a bolt-on thing like you can slap it towards the end. If you are planning a cloud, look at your security requirements associated with each of your use case. What is the workload that you are going to consume from the cloud? What are the things that I need to secure for that workload? And then you go about doing what you need. So it has to apply, start from the design phase, the deploy phase, as well as the consume phase. So out of those 4 patterns, I'm just about discussing one of those patterns here. Like the classic cloud use case is like you have a self-service portal wherein somebody comes in, requests for a machine. I need a 2 GB, 2 CPU, 20 GB hard drive machine. So this process in the back, if you look at, there are several sort of things that you need to take care of. Like when that resource is requested, you will have to make sure that this resource pool that is shown to this user is a right set of resource pool that he is configured and he is eligible for accessing, as well as he is seeing a list of right set of images, because if there are 2 customers using the same cloud, it can't happen that by accident or by mistake you can have one customer's set of images visible to the other customer. So the image management part becomes critical. So what he can choose from those resource list, right? Now the second part is the provisioning part. So there is a lot of multiple technologies that we have that does this automated provisioning. So if there are specific security requirements that requirement from this test team or this production VM should go into a specific VLAN, specific behind a specific firewall, all of that, the cloud platform has to coordinate with the providers of this service, whether it is network or the firewall or the load balancer. That VM has to be provisioned in a specific VM specific zone. So that's the second part. And then the third, fourth, fifth primarily talks about the endpoint management that I talked about. Once you have already provisioned the VM, you want to make sure it is up to date. There is, if it is a production system, you want to track the user IDs on that. If it is a production system, you want to make sure that within 3 days of releasing the patch, your systems have to be upgraded to get to the latest level. So all of this is pretty much managed by the endpoint management. So just to show you an example of what are the things that we sort of look at. This example, like you have, if you are using a Tivoli Service Automation Manager or the IBM Service Delivery Manager as your cloud platform, you have things like identity, IBM Security Identity and Access Management to take care of the user IDs, then the endpoint manager to take care of the patch and fixes management. Lastly, in terms of when you talk about cloud security, our focus area is in two things. One, security from the cloud. Two, security for the cloud. And with regard to security from the cloud, these are things like you get the security services itself as a service. You can source it from the cloud, as in you want to do event management, log management, or X-Force is something like a subscription based. You can think of it like a antivirus for your enterprise. Where we put out things around vulnerabilities upfront, which can be applied to your enterprise much early before it hits you. So these are things that customers don't need to invest in any hardware infrastructure at their place. They can just buy it from the cloud. And then, of course, security for the cloud. Vamsi talked about this. Like we not only do our own cloud, put up our own cloud. We also help our clients and partners build their cloud. So if you are building the cloud and you need areas where you're looking for capabilities, right across securing identity, the data security. So there is the information guardian, which looks at how do you secure the data in the cloud. And then I also want to talk about very briefly about this piece, QRadar Security Intelligence. So QRadar is a component that we have acquired recently, that is late last year. There is a company by name Q1 Labs, which we acquired, and this QRadar has the capability of building that security intelligence, taking all the security events and logs from various places, whether it is your network, firewall, storage, or your servers. All of them can be looked at in one place, and you have a visibility into your complete visibility into your cloud infrastructure. So it's a very interesting capability. In the interest of time, I'll just skip. So again, these things we can't do in isolation. We are working with multiple standard groups to evolve the standards across, that we can bring forward in the security space. Key thing being the Customer Standards Council, over 250 plus companies participating. If your company is interested in doing stuff in this place, feel free to join in and contribute to this. Already talked about a lot of white papers and guidance documents available. X-Force is one of them, and then if you look at ibm.com/cloud. So with that, I'll conclude. So this was just a high-level overview of the security strategy. Basically, the key element is, rather than security, it is more the visibility that the customers are looking for. So if you can gain that trust by showing what good practices that you are doing to secure your cloud based on the workload or the pattern, that is going to take care of this grand challenge. Thank you.
Thank you, Sreekanth. If you have any questions, then we can take at this point of time. Yes?
I'm Ram from IBM. So how do we ensure security at hypervisor level?
Good question, Ram. There are technologies like, one of the challenges that cloud brings in is the hypervisor layer. We don't know what is happening between the VMs, between what is happening at the hypervisor layer. So there are tools and technologies that actually have insight into what is being communicated between these VMs and looking at securing that. So the IBM virtual server protection for VMware, that is a classic example which can actually monitor the activities at the hypervisor level. And you can set policies that, okay, this VMs should not have outbound access to that VMs, etc. So you can isolate that also. Yeah, that is, I showed you the slide. There is the IBM Security and Access Manager that's primarily for identity and access management. And depending on, what is the area that, if you want to do endpoint management, there is the Tivoli endpoint management software. No, it is mostly at the infrastructure side. Application specific, if you're looking to secure, secure the database, there is a information set of tools and technologies, which is the Guardian family. And then if you want to make sure that your application is, the application is coded correctly and there are no vulnerabilities in the code, you can look at Rational App Scan, which would actually scan your sort of code and tell you the vulnerabilities upfront before you deploy it. The single sign-on capabilities are all part of the federated identity that I talked about, where you are able to get partner identities flow through the set of applications that are available to you. So all of this is under the identity and access management portfolio.
So, hello.
Thank you, Sreekanth, for that wonderful insights. Thank you very much.